Suji looked at Jay with a smile. So, she finally reached out, didn't she? You must have been so happy when you saw her message. Jay smiled faintly. I was, but I never imagined my happiness would be so short lived. Suji's smile slowly faded. The moment Jacob read Jules' text, he burst into laughter so loudly that people around him turned to look. He didn't care. His instincts had been right. Without wasting another second, he called her. Hello, Jules. Hi, Jay. Where are you? I had to come to Hyderabad for a client meeting. I'll be back in Chennai by this evening. I want to talk to you. Can you meet me at the cafe in Indranagar at 6? Of course. He disconnected the call, deciding that everything else would wait until they met in person. For the first time in days, he finally breathed. It felt as though he had been holding his breath ever since she walked away from him. No, he had lost his heart, and now it had found its way back. Smiling to himself, he returned to the hotel, packed his belongings, changed into fresh clothes, and caught the very next flight to Chennai. As the aircraft floated above the clouds, his heart felt just as light. He spent the entire journey rehearsing what he would say. Jules, I fell in love with you the moment I saw you. He shook his head. Too bold. Jules, I first saw you at the children's home, a woman with the kindest heart. Too long. Then another thought made him smile. It was your birthday, but that was the day I felt I was born again. He laughed softly. Maybe, maybe that was the one. He opened the small pouch in his bag and looked at the pearl earrings inside. It's time, he whispered. When he reached home, his mother, Jhansi, was watering the plants. Her face brightened the moment she saw him. Jay, did you have lunch? I did, Ma. What about you? She nodded. I have another meeting in 2 hours. I'll see you, Ma. She simply smiled and watched him walk inside. After taking a shower and getting dressed, Jacob sat on the bed, tying his shoelaces while humming to himself. Jhansi stood at the doorway, watching him for a moment before asking, Who is she, Jay? Jacob looked up, startled. What? The girl. A sheepish smile spread across his face. How did you know, Ma? She walked over, ruffled his hair, and smiled. A mother always knows. Your father and I were madly in love before we got married. I know exactly what love looks like. Jacob smiled before gently cupping her face. I know you still miss him. Chansey sighed. I still love him. Not a single day passes without thinking about him. After a brief silence, she looked at her son. But ever since he left us, I've carried one responsibility to see you married to a good girl. She smiled warmly. So tell me, who's she? Jacob lowered his eyes for a moment before speaking. When we acquired Fortune, I had to hide the fact that I was one of the CEOs and work there like an ordinary employee. She became my friend. She trusted me, but before I could tell her the truth, someone else did. She was hurt. I asked her for one chance to explain. He smiled. And this morning, she called. His voice softened. I love her, Ma. She's kind, she's beautiful, and she's just like you. You love her. Jhansi smiled with tears in her eyes. Then bring her home. When Jacob parked outside the cafe Jules had mentioned, excitement and nervousness fought inside him. He looked at the bouquet of flowers resting on the passenger seat and smiled. This, this felt like the most important day of his life. He stepped out of the car, holding the flowers in one hand while adjusting his hair with the other after checking his reflection in the mirror. Taking a deep breath, he walked inside. A few customers occupied the tables. Others stood near the counter placing their orders. His eyes searched every corner of the cafe. No Jules. Then he noticed someone sitting alone at a table. A familiar face. The man looked up at the same time. Their eyes met. Both of them wore the exact same expression of surprise. Jacob frowned. Arjun? What is he doing here? He walked over immediately. Arjun stood up with a smile and stretched out his hand. Instead of shaking it, Jacob pulled him into a tight hug. Arjun, Macha, how are you? It's been so long. Arjun laughed. It really has, Macha. I'm good. How are you? How's Amma? She's doing well. Jacob smiled. We have so much to catch up on. After I had to leave the college suddenly, I lost touch with everyone. How are uncle and auntie? They are doing well. Appa is taking care of the export business here in Chennai. I'm managing the manufacturing unit in Coimbatore. You remember our automobile spare parts business, right? Of course. As they spoke, Arjun's eyes fell on the bouquet in Jacob's hand. He smiled knowingly. Sir, meeting someone special? Jacob couldn't hide his smile. You know, I never cared about girls during college. But recently, I met someone and I fell in love within seconds. Arjun laughed. No chance. Jacob chuckled. I first met her at a children's home on her birthday. She bought food for all the children there. I dropped her home that day. 3 weeks later, I discovered she worked in my company. I never told her who I really was, but somehow she found out. She was upset. She called me today and asked me to meet her here. Jacob continued talking, asking Arjun why he was at the cafe instead of visiting his house. He never noticed the smile slowly disappearing from Arjun's face. Right then, a familiar voice interrupted them. Jay, do you both know each other already? Jacob turned. Jules, do you know Arjun? Who was Arjun? Why was he sitting there in that cafe? Stay right here with me for the next episode. This is Between Love and Truth, where love is deep and truth runs deeper than we think. Thanks for listening.